You had a plan today. You were going to exercise, work on that project, make that call you've been putting off, do the thing you've been meaning to do for weeks, and then you didn't. You told yourself you'd start after this episode, after this scroll, after this snack, after a little rest. And now it's evening, and the thing still isn't done. And somewhere underneath the excuse you made for yourself, there's a quiet, familiar feeling of having failed yourself again. You're not lazy. You're not weak. You're running an ancient biological program that was never designed for the world you're living in. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. Welcome back to Decoded. If you're new here, I'd recommend starting with our first episode, Decoded, Why You Do What You Do, where we lay out the foundational framework behind everything we cover in this series. The core idea is this: underneath all human behavior are a set of ancient biological drives we call primal hungers. These drives were built into us over millions of years of evolution because they solved survival and reproductive problems for our ancestors. They're not personality traits, they're not choices, they're hardware running software that hasn't been updated in 100,000 years. In our last episode, we looked at status hunger, the relentless drive to rise in rank that runs your career, your social media, and a significant portion of your interior emotional life. Today, we're going somewhere different, somewhere quieter, somewhere most people don't look, because looking at it too closely is uncomfortable. This is comfort hunger, and it may be the drive that is costing you more than any other. Comfort hunger is the drive toward ease and away from effort. It is the voice that says, "Not yet." The pull toward the couch when the gym is calling. The preference for the familiar over the challenging. The gravitational force that makes the right thing consistently harder to do than the easy thing. It is why the snooze button wins, why the diet starts Monday, why the first sentence of anything is the hardest, why you will reorganize your desk, check your phone, make another coffee, do almost anything, rather than begin the hard thing sitting in front of you. This is not a character flaw. This is one of the oldest drives in your biology. Comfort hunger is the drive toward ease and away from effort. It is the voice that says, "Not yet." The pull toward the couch when the gym is calling. The preference for the familiar over the challenging. The gravitational force that makes the right thing consistently harder to do than the easy thing. It is why the snooze button wins, why the diet starts Monday, why the first sentence of anything is the hardest, why you will reorganize your desk, check your phone, make another coffee, do almost anything, rather than begin the hard thing sitting in front of you. This is not a character flaw. This is one of the oldest drives in your biology. Here's why Mother Nature built this into you. For the vast majority of human history, and for millions of years before that, energy was the most precious resource an organism had. Calories were hard to find, unpredictable, and never guaranteed. The next meal was never certain. In that environment, every unnecessary expenditure of energy was a genuine risk. An organism that burned energy it didn't need to burn was an organism that might not have enough left when it actually mattered, when the predator came, when the famine hit, when the fight couldn't be avoided. So Mother Nature built a powerful conservation system directly into your biology. She made rest feel good. She made effort feel costly. She wired you to default to the path of least resistance whenever possible. Because in the ancestral environment, that default kept you alive. The organism that rested when it could, that avoided unnecessary effort, that conserved energy for when it was truly needed, that organism survived. And those instincts are in you right now, running at full ancestral intensity. In a world where the next meal was never certain, comfort hunger was a survival system. In a world where calories are unlimited and physical survival requires almost no effort at all, it became something else entirely. The environment changed, the hunger didn't. Comfort hunger is now running in a world where almost every worthwhile thing requires sustained effort, and almost every effortless option is immediately available. Your ancestors never faced this problem. The choice between lying down and doing something hard didn't exist in the same way, because lying down when there was work to be done meant going hungry. The environment enforced effort. Comfort hunger was kept in check by necessity. That check is gone, and comfort hunger has never had more to work with. Every worthwhile long-term goal, physical fitness, financial security, meaningful relationships, creative work, skill development, requires consistent effort over time. Comfort hunger opposes every single one of them. Not occasionally, constantly, every day, every time you sit down to begin. And the modern world has handed comfort hunger an arsenal of weapons it never had before. The smartphone in your pocket is the most sophisticated comfort delivery system ever built, engineered by some of the smartest people alive, specifically to feel easier and more immediately rewarding than whatever hard thing you should be doing instead. The couch, the streaming service, the scroll, the snack, all of them are comfort hunger getting fed right now instead of the thing that actually serves your life. This isn't weakness. This is an ancient energy conservation system meeting a modern world specifically designed to exploit it. Let's talk specifically about procrastination, because this is where comfort hunger does some of its most visible damage. Procrastination is not laziness. Laziness implies you don't care. Most people who procrastinate care deeply, which is part of what makes it so painful. Procrastination is comfort hunger winning the battle against a longer-term drive. Status hunger, meaning hunger, autonomy hunger, drives that require effort to satisfy, come into direct conflict with comfort hunger, which is pulling you away from the effort required. And comfort hunger has a significant advantage in this fight. It pays off immediately. The relief of not starting is instant. The reward of finishing is distant. The brain is wired to weight immediate rewards more heavily than future ones. Another ancient feature, not a bug. Immediate rewards were real. Future rewards were uncertain. So the procrastinator isn't failing to want the outcome. They're losing a neurological tug-of-war between an immediate comfort reward and a distant achievement reward. A fight comfort hunger wins by default, unless something actively overrides it. Here's why telling yourself to just do it is such an inadequate solution. Willpower is a conscious prefrontal cortex function. It's effortful, limited, and depletes with use. Comfort hunger is a deep, ancient subcortical drive. When they go head-to-head, especially when you're tired, stressed, or depleted, comfort hunger wins. It has been winning this fight for millions of years. This is not a fair contest. Lecturing yourself about discipline is like showing up to an arms race with a strongly worded letter. What actually works is what your ancestors had: environmental enforcement. They didn't need willpower to work because the environment required effort for survival. The check on comfort hunger was external, not internal. The most effective modern version of this is designing your environment so that the hard thing becomes the easy thing. Making effort the path of least resistance. Removing the easy options that comfort hunger will always reach for first. Exercise. If you have to find your gym clothes, pack a bag, and drive across town before you can work out, comfort hunger wins before you even start. But if your shoes are by the door and your gym is on the way to work, the friction is gone. You're not fighting the hunger, you're rerouting it. Phone scrolling. If your phone is on your desk, comfort hunger will find it every time the hard thing gets difficult. Put it in another room. Make the reach for distraction require actual physical effort. That 10 seconds of friction is often the difference between starting and not starting. Eating. You don't eat the junk food you don't buy. Comfort hunger can't reach for the easy option if the easy option isn't there. The decision that matters isn't made at the fridge at 10 p.m. It's made at the grocery store. Design the environment where the decision is easy, not where the hunger is loudest. You're not going to out-willpower 100 million years of evolution, but you might be able to rearrange the playing field. Comfort hunger kept your ancestors alive. In your life, right now, it may be the single greatest obstacle between you and the life you actually want. Every version of yourself you've imagined, fitter, more skilled, further along, more accomplished, exists on the other side of sustained effort. And comfort hunger is standing between you and every single one of them, every day. With the full weight of evolutionary history behind it, the person who can't start the project isn't failing. They're losing a fight they didn't know they were in, against an opponent they couldn't see. Now you can see it, and you can ask the question that changes everything. Is this me, or is this the hunger? Comfort hunger is ancient. It is relentless. It saved your ancestors' lives, and in the world you're actually living in, it may be quietly stealing yours. Not through dramatic failure, through the slow accumulation of days where the easy thing won. That's what Decoded is here for. Not to make you feel bad about being human, but to show you the machinery so you can stop being run by drives you didn't know you had. Next episode, we go deeper into a hunger so fundamental that its misfires now reach into every corner of modern life. The drive to belong. And what happens when ancient tribal wiring meets the modern world. If this landed for you, share it with someone who needs to see it. Once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. Please subscribe, and thanks for watching.